Hello, today we are going to be talking about addictions. What is the difference between an addiction and a habit? A habit is something that the person is in control of, whereas an addiction, the person does not have any control over it. There are signs and symptoms that start off for people to be addicted. First is the dependency. When somebody is addicted to a substance, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or a behavior addiction such as working out, eating, gambling, people crave it. They can't give it up without extreme difficulties. The signs and symptoms is when they can't stop. If they do decide to stop, there's going to be withdrawal symptoms, which makes it very difficult. Sacrifices are another risk factor of addictions. Some people give up everything for their addiction. Their addiction overcomes their life and they end up losing out on social or even recreational activities that they once were very important to them. Supply is very important for addictions. Whatever the person is addicted to, they are always make sure that they have it. It's always available to them, and if they don't have it, they're thinking of ways to come up with it. Obsession. An addicted person may spend more and more time and energy focused on their addiction. So, for example, if it was cigarettes, they're always thinking about when they can have another smoke. How long until it have a smoke, or even whenever they do get the chance, they'll have lots of cigarettes. A lot of addictions are done in secrecy, so a lot of people around won't even know that they are suffering from it. And if the people do find out, there's a lot of denial. People don't want someone to know that they are addicted, and a lot of the time they refuse to acknowledge that they have a problem. Addictions can also lead to a lot of problems with the law. This is really important whenever it comes to addictions such as drug and alcohol, because people will then drink and drive, or they'll do illegal activities to get their substance. And a lot of the time, this also has a big financial difficulty on the person who is suffering from addictions. Addictions can also cause a lot of family and relationship problems, because addictions do not just affect the person who is addicted, it also affects all the people surrounding them. So if they have kids, it affects them, their parents, their friends. A lot of the time, addiction can also lead to abuse and neglect towards children, which is another social aspect but we will not be getting into much detail on that today. There are risk factors for addiction. It can be genetic, meaning that if you're addicted, chances are that your parents or grandparents or cousins and that are also addicted. Gender is also important. It really plays a role with drug addictions. It's usually more males than females who are addicted to drugs. Mental illnesses can also play a role in that, because people who suffer from mental illnesses also usually suffer with depression or other medical issues, and they're more likely to become addicted to drugs, alcohol, or even cigarettes. Family behavior. Kids mimic what they see. If they see you doing drugs or drinking, they are more likely to think that it's okay, and they will also one day become addicted because it's always around them. Some substances are just addictive to begin with. For example, crack cocaine. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. Chances are if you do it 20 times or just do it once, you will still be addicted. Which is a lot different than drinking. A lot of people can have one drink and don't get addicted. It takes many before they become addicted. Stress can also play a big role in it. A person is more likely to get addicted when they are stressed out because it helps to cover up whatever they're stressing out about. This is usually linked to alcoholism and drugs. There is help for addictions, though. The first step is acknowledging that you have a problem and seeking out treatment programs. For example, if you're addicted to gambling, there's a Gambling Anonymous program. Drinking, there's Alcohol Anonymous, and Narcotics Anonymous for drugs. There's also self-help groups where you can meet with other people who are in similar positions as yourself. And then there's also help with meeting with people, usually physicians, that can help you with another drug to help with your withdrawals. This is given as a safe alternative to doing what you are addicted to, the substance that you're addicted to. There are so many complications that come with addiction. Your number one is your health. We've all been told for years now that smoking causes cancer, but yet people still do it. Drinking causes liver disease and liver problems. That's more with substance abuse rather than gambling abuse and behavioral abuse, which is gambling abuse. There's also the risk of death. A lot of drugs is very easy to overdose on, and alcohol can lead to death in a car accident if you're driving under the influence. Another big thing is a lot of people who are addicted become depressed, which can lead to suicide. And once again, it comes back to we'll come back to talking about relationship problems. Having an addiction overcomes your life, which means your relationship gets put on the back burner, which causes a lot of relationships to end and people to leave your life. It's also a problem with your relationship problems can be child abuse and neglect, like I talked about before. The chances of abusing your child rise significantly whenever there's an addiction involved. And then last but not least is the fact that your addiction overcomes and usually leads to unemployment, where you will lose your job because you cannot function every day as normal, which then leads to poverty, because you don't have money to pay for your addiction and everything else in your life, and usually ends in homelessness because you don't have anywhere to work, so you don't have anywhere to pay your bills, and therefore you don't have anywhere to live. But this can all be, anyone can be addicted. Anyone can end up having an addiction, and any habit can turn into an addiction, and it can be anything from exercise to gambling to sex to eating, and it can all be controlled if you seek the right help.